So it's come to my attention that the majority of my audience is on average in their mid to late 20s, and having learned this, it seems appropriate to treat and talk to you guys like adults. So once we hit that 30-second mark, let the swearing begin. Until then, know that this game has humor, death, carnage, and titty physics. It was developed by a small team known as Fluxscopic, who, by the way, was really active on their Steam support page for their game and gave me a pretty quick response when I got stuck on a level, to which they told me I could load a previous autosave and this resolved my issue. Mayhem in Single Valley follows this little fucker named Jack. Born into a broken household with an alcoholic father and complacent mother, it's his goal to escape by going off to college for his passion for painting. Sorry, does that hit a little close to home? Smash that like button like your dad does the bottle over your head if it does. Unfortunately for Jack, the day he was ready to leave, he gets blamed for starting the apocalypse and he takes it upon himself to fix it and prove his innocence. How fucked up is that some random guy out for a jog decides what happened is Jack's fault just because he was within eyesight of the scene of the crime, nowhere even near it? I mean, this kid was literally in his fucking treehouse, across from the river where the truck drove up and parked, and a mysterious figure opened the valve to dump the sludge into the river. The radioactive sludge then turns innocent woodland creatures into flesh-craving zombies who spread the plague throughout the valley. A lot of hard work and love went into this wacky weird title, so I want to give it due diligence. Timestamps are provided if you want to skip ahead. This fucking roller coaster is illustrated in 2.5D. Most everything looks two-dimensional, but you move around and interact with the world in the third dimension. The perspective can be a little confusing sometimes, but when you die, you respawn quickly, so you can try again if your dumb little ass fucks up a jump or something. Buildings, cars, and large objects are three-dimensional, but smaller items that you pick up and put in your inventory are most times flat 2D. It's a little weird that the characters are 2D in a 3D world, but whatever. They look good stylistically, and the animations are totally fluid. On the dev's website, you see really outdated older versions of the models, so it's very clear that they did a shit ton of work to overhaul the visuals to the state that it's in now. I'm thoroughly impressed. Many lighting sources are dynamic, glowing objects illuminate the area, and shadows that are cast are very reliably and faithfully rendered. Good shit. The music is what I describe as chiptune, reminiscent of the 80s and 90s video games, giving a great feeling of nostalgia if you're old as dirt. You gain new songs throughout the game in the form of collectible cassette tapes, and you can pull up your player to switch up what you're listening to. But they're often thoughtfully placed for certain scenes, so I never found myself skipping or changing tracks. This game features 2.5 hours of original tunes. Now for the good part, the gameplay. This game is very creative in its levels. I suppose I'll start by saying the game functions on a life system that comes in the form of trash can lids you see in the top left corner. You can expect to die a lot. But, as my 5th grade teacher used to say, mistakes are wonderful opportunities to learn. The developer brags about there being over 50 ways to die, so do your part by experiencing all the ones that they worked so hard to create. There are also a lot of physics-related puzzles and platforming. Just like in real life, physics is either your best friend when you know how to use it, or your demise if you're careless. Eventually, you'll unlock an umbrella to make platforming your bitch. You collect items that you throw, and eventually you'll get an upgradable slingshot to sling shit even further. Some objects you collect can be combined with others to create new effects, such as poisons or a cure for the zombie sludge. Along normal slingshot ammo like rocks, you'll find food items for the critters, like cheese, bugs, and fruit to throw to distract them and avoid them. Combat is pretty non-existent up until the endgame. This is a story spoiler, but you gain the cure from the crazy man in the woods who was right the whole time. Didn't see that one coming. This crazy old fucker concocted some hooch, and you combine this elixir and many of the consumable objects to cure your animal and human enemies to have a bit easier time getting around the game world. Now about the upgrades I keep talking about. I know you're just chomping at the bit to know. Upgrade materials come in the form of duct tape, which you collect by rescuing Jack's clones throughout the game. Once you rescue them from a cliff edge, a tree, or a floating balloon, they drop a roll of duct tape. This can be used to upgrade your shoes, for speed and dodge rolls, backpack space to carry more items, the number of lids, or quote-unquote lives, you can hold at a time, and lastly, your slingshot for more range, and later, you gain a stunning effect. I would offer a story summary, but this game isn't really that long, so I recommend you try it out yourself if you're at all interested. At the time of recording, I clocked in just under 5 hours, and that's because I took my time to explore a bit and collect as many collectibles as I could find. All in all, this game was a truly fun little adventure. I got it on sale for around $5 I think, and it was definitely worth the price that I paid. I enjoy the humor in the fourth wall breaking. It was never overdone to the point where it annoyed me, but was thoughtfully implemented and added to my experience. The levels were designed well and kept me engaged the whole time. My only complaint is that this game wasn't any longer than it was. I hope you guys watching will try to go try it for yourself and support the developer so that they can make more games in the future so I can play them myself. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next video.